I don't know in the past 2 times we've had you on, if we made it like, if people fully understand the situation as like at least one of your farms, and you have others that aren't, but the one is butting up to like it's a non-hunting park. You know what I mean? It's like it's set aside by the city.
Yeah, my whole career. So like I'm losing it to the city.
Right.
So it's time to talk about stuff like that, but it's not a secret, right? Like we all sell land, we all develop land. We want the best land. I got clients that are super happy with my buddy Chris Wing, shout out to him. I can't get him to not put a blind at 20 foot in the air. So he's not really sneaky getting it 20 foot in the air because he's from Michigan. And I'm beating on him to like, you got miscanthus and switchgrass, put it at 5, you could sneak in the back. And those deer know you're there, right? And so over time, we are trying to find the best farms for for what that person wants. Me particular, I found out really early in my life that the greatest way to hunt a bigger animal or a mature animal, like 5 years old or older, was to find a place that they weren't hunted and either get permission, buy, lease, whatever next to it. So over the last 20 years of my career in filming and doing whatever, there's probably 6 places here in central Illinois that have non-hunting parks. Champaign, where you guys talked about the government, the Illinois government, having these parks around Champaign County and all these ditches that are, whether they be like MSD in Fulton County, it's a waste place that, back in the 50s, the same, the pulling the coal out. There's a lot of that stuff they can't transfer over and they got to own it forever. Well, they become sanctuaries and then you hunt around it. And it's always been like that. And so it's a race to buy, normally over market, the stuff that butts up against a park. And it's always been not my secret, but the guys that learned it earlier. And so, won the game for the last 20 years. So that's all I've tried to buy. Peoria County, I don't think Whitetail Edge, they've kind of fell onto that up against the Peoria Park District. That's where the world record came out of the park, coming down to the fields. This has been like this for 50 plus years. And the wild part is that over the years, I've grandfathered into this family owned property and paid this big money lease back when leases weren't even that expensive, but I've kept that up and grandfathered in and taken care of it. But it was 1,000 acres. I got to hunt about 300 of it. And then we bought little pieces around it. And then it's where I've got to study and become a whitetail expert, is watching these park deer.
Yeah.
And when I say park deer, like there's millions of trails. Like right now they're having a disc golf tournament this weekend. In it, deer are going to be dodging disc golf, guys and people and whatever, and the deer see it. But when they cross that line into our farm or into the lease or into whatever, they become different deer.
Yeah.
And you get to watch that, and it makes it better to study deer because they get to see humans and pattern humans, and if you can use that to your advantage, you can win. So that kind of sets it up, is like, that's what I look for in a farm, whether it be an old lady, when you grew up, there's like, that old lady don't let anybody hunt, she has a sanctuary.
Yeah.
That can be as simple as it is to get a deer from 3 to 5.
For sure.
But so that's been my key my whole life, is
the reason
hunting next to a giant 3,500 acres of park, but they don't hunt in it.
Yeah. Well, and the reason that I pull that out, Chris, is I want people to have an understanding of, like, you're getting to watch some of these deer up until like 6, 7, 8, 10 years old in some cases, more so even than our farm, an hour from you, where we're not butting up against a no hunting area. We struggle a little bit more to get the age on them, and so I think you bring a really unique perspective to just getting to study deer from that standpoint.
And I've never been calm enough to talk about it because, like even the last time we did the interview where I told my story or whatever, is that no one ever got to see the chill Brackett, drink a couple beers and deer camp and go to my farm and stay there for 45 days and be by myself and hunt and have you come in or whatever. Like, all I love to do is chase whitetails and shoot anything and everything. But my whole life, I never thought I could afford a farm. And God's been able to put that mountain in front of me that he moved. That's just like, well, you've worked really hard. These things make sense. Got into real estate, understand it. And now I put everything into my 2 farms, and I love that. And I found a real good season in that that's kept me just honing my craft. But before that, I had leases like everybody else, or properties like yours that I hunted with my friends or whoever. I never really could dive into it with the macro kind of look at individual seeds and going out and hand seeding and miscanthus and having them be like my culture. So here, my partner Kirk in lots of land and stuff is that we had goals to buy farms that I wanted to buy 20 years ago. And you just have to stay on them and say, if they ever come up for sale, you have to buy that farm. And that's what I've done. And so I've been able to study these deer and shoot them. You know, like we're able to hunt our places with a gun or with a bow. So it's the same, but it definitely is heavily relying on the fact that these deer can do deer stuff.
Yeah.
They know where the boundary is. So when they come on to the battleground, they're fair play. It also has its unique challenges, like what you were saying last year. My deer aren't giving me a free pass. They haven't seen people because Carl hasn't left the house. And then when they see you, they're like, no free passes. So for me, if I wear my same clothes, whether it be on my farm that's out in the wilderness, not far from yours, or here next to the park, it very much is a give and take on what they'll allow you to get away with.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, those deer just let me drive by in the tractor yesterday.
Yeah. Well, that's a really cool component of it, is just understanding, like, if you would call that the DNA of your farm, but just like, and it's, I guarantee there's people out there that'll be like, oh, of course, you hunt next to a park type of a thing, but frickin' who wouldn't want that, to have a piece of property that you own or lease or what have permission on that butts up to an area that can't be hunted? Like, whether you put the name park on it or, old lady's place that she doesn't let anybody hunt, like, all we're after is these deer able to get to a certain age. And with the park, they really have that escalated ability of, like, they just feel really super comfortable in there. And dude, that's what a situation to be able to hone your skills and you're pulling them off of that property with, like, obviously there's no baiting in Illinois. So this is all land management stuff that you're doing, tactics that you're using to make them feel comfortable and pull them out into a huntable situation. Like, dude, that's the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the dream.
That's why I'm asking you to. That's why I'm having you find us. try to find us one.
Sure.
They're impossible to find that.
It take me